This is Floral City. It's a place where you can relax and just be exactly who you are. There are no dress codes here. There's no status quos to stress you out. It's actually like stepping back into yesterday. Trees blowing in the breeze, the flowers on the porch boxes of the historic homes, and our come on in attitude and friendliness make this place of Floral City graceful, laid back, and beautiful. It's a hidden treasure of Florida's nature coast. Here in Floral City, we might be a small town, but we have old things to new things, barbecue to beauty, flowers to fishing, rails to trails, and fine arts to frog legs. We've got just a little bit of everything here in Floral City. It's our historic country culture. Hi friends, welcome back to Floral City. I'm really glad that you were able to join us for another episode of Floral City, the real old Florida, and I am absolutely sure you're going to be when it's finished as well. Today we're going to show you, if you notice behind us, we are at the Floral City basin of Lake Salapopka. And we're going to talk a little bit about the history of the lake, the peoples that were here before, some of the things to do on the lake. And I don't have a better person in the world that I can think of to help give us some information on that than one of my favorite people in the whole world. This is Tom Ritchie. Hello.
Hey, Shannon.
Thank you for coming and talking to me.
My pleasure.
Always last minute, hey, I need you, and he shows up. So he is our local historian here, and he also works for Lindblad Expeditions, which is an adventure
travel. Ecotourism really is what we specialize in.
Well, we're grateful to have him here because usually he's off in another part of the world or the Arctic or something. So this is a treat to have you here, and I'm very grateful. As I was doing a bunch of the research for the show on the lake, I noticed that most of what I wanted to say was in your book. So I figured since you were home, who better to have? We all think of Floral City, we think of history as the pioneers. Any place that we've lived, the pioneers, as far back as the history goes. But that's not the case here in Floral City.
No, it's not. Actually, our history goes back to the conquistadors, the first Spanish conquistadors to come in the area, because they had chroniclers with them and described this area, described the Indian village, which means we've got a prehistoric aspect to Floral City as well. We know the name of the Indian village. It was Tocasti, and they lived here from at least as long ago as 800 AD, probably even earlier than that. Mm-hmm. So they were fully agricultural by that time, growing maize and beans and pumpkins and everything. So it's amazing to read the accounts of the DeSoto expedition and think, this is Floral City they're talking about, describing the lake and the trees, and you can actually see the places they're talking about. You know,
I read the one Relacion or something,
right,
whichever one.
Right.
And after I realized, I went back and I went, no wonder I thought it was so beautiful. They were talking about Floral
Well, they
City.
talked about how the oak trees seem to have been planted for pleasure because they were, separated by certain distances, and they kept the ground open, and they had a beautiful village right here on the lake shore. Mm-hmm. And we find pottery and projectile points and things,
That was another thing. USF, a lot of people work with the archaeological, so it's not just an idea that these people were here. I mean, we have the archaeological evidence culture and all kinds of different archaeological finds they've had here in different areas.
Yes.
And it's funny, you have these certain archaeological areas, and in my mind, it's here and here and here. Mm-hmm. But when you look at a Google map, it's all right there next to each other. It's just the roads don't connect it. So.
And the archaeologists have found Spanish artifacts dated to the time of 1539, 1540, which is when DeSoto was here. So the archaeology has verified the writings that we have from the chronicles of the Spanish conquistadors. Right. I mean, it has all come together, so we know it's fact.
Right. And a little known story, actually, I found out last night. When DeSoto came through here, it was like a 4-day something from here to Ocala, they called it.
Yes.
And he was not very nice. to the Indians when he came
No,
through the first time.
He set a standard of brutality, and he was a bully, and I'd have to say a murderer, and cold and heartless. They were here after gold and riches. You know, they say gold, or God, glory, and gold, but it was basically gold.
Gold, right. I would like to thank you very much, Tom, for coming and giving us the information and your wisdom on everything that you're passing along
my
and your
pleasure.
knowledge to us. The books that we have in the Floral City Heritage Museum, you can also get them in the Historical
The
Museum.
old county courthouse in
The old
Inverness.
County Courthouse, yes. And this is the Floral City book. It's the story of a small town in Citrus County, and it's placed within the history of Florida. Very interesting, covers a lot of information. And then this is also a different book. It's the Floral City Arcadia book, and it is done with Tom's wife Paulette and Frank Peters, our local historian, and it's got the pictures and things. So if you get a chance, go on in. Next, we're going to be going out in the boat, and we're going to take a trip around the lake and let you see what's out there.